Is it that time already? Good morning, class. Does something seem different about my outfit today? I don't always wear gigantic tissue paper flames on my head, but when I do, it's Pentecost. Ooh, it's so hot. Look, it's a bonfire. Watch me pass my hands through the flames. Why is Pentecost important enough to make a gigantic headdress? Let me tell you, actually some of you already know. It's the birthday of the church, and it's when, maybe, I'll just show you in our newly renovated blanket fort. Well, it's not super renovated, but it's a little different than it was before. There's 2 cats inside it already. So come, follow the fire. Oh, look, the Bible's in here. The cat's in here. One of the cats. Both cats were here before. Oops. See, it's a little bit brighter in here because I changed over some blankets and then made some other arrangements to make it a little... Oh, wait a minute. Well, maybe it's just as dark as ever. Where is that light switch? A very important feast was happening in Jerusalem, and lots of people were hurrying to get there. It was called the Feast of Weeks, and it happens 50 days after Easter, and it happened 10 days after the ascension of Jesus. People came from the north and the south and the east and the west, and they all were coming to the one city, Jerusalem, in order to be together to celebrate this special feast. And the disciples were some of these people. They were going to a place of their own so that they could all be together. Jesus had told them that they should be together in Jerusalem to wait for the coming of the Holy Spirit. The disciples were eager for the coming of the Holy Spirit, so they did what Jesus said, and they came to Jerusalem and they got together to pray. Everyone was together in the one place, praying and waiting. And that's when the thing happened. Inside the house, there was suddenly a sound like a mighty wind blowing. It filled the whole house. And then a flame appeared, and it traveled down towards them and divided itself. The tongues of flame each came to rest on top of every person that was in there. Everybody got their own tongue of flame. It was the Holy Spirit, and it came to rest on all of them. And then they began to speak. And when they spoke, the words came out in a different language. They were all speaking different languages that they didn't know. And everyone was praising God. They were making so much noise that people outside of the house started to notice. How can the people inside the house know the language that I'm speaking when I'm from so far away from here, they wondered. That's when Peter decided he'd better go outside and explain to everyone what was happening. Hey everybody, are you wondering what's going on in there? Let me explain, Peter said. This is the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy by the prophet Joel. He said that God would pour out his Spirit on all people. Sons and daughters would prophesy, young men would see visions, and the old men would dream dreams. All God's servants, both men and women, the Spirit would be poured out on them in these days, and they would prophesy. He said that God said there would be wonders in the heavens above and signs on the earth below before the coming of the great and glorious day of the Lord. And everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved.
Wow! Did you see that? Pretty interesting story, right? Pentecost is really important because it's kind of the reason we're all here. When the Holy Spirit came down to all the disciples who were all gathered together, that was really the birthday of the church. Let's see what the big, heavy Bible has to say about it. That wasn't so bad. I must be getting stronger. The truth is, I've been bench pressing the Apocrypha. That was a joke for the theologically minded grown-ups. In the book of John, Jesus says to his disciples, yes, I know it's sad that I have to go, but on the other hand, it's going to be better for you because I'm going to send the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit can always be with you. That's the extraordinary thing about the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is with you always. Sometimes you notice the Holy Spirit more than other times, but the Holy Spirit will bring to your memory all the things that Jesus taught. So when you're suddenly remembering something about Jesus, that's the Holy Spirit. Pentecost is the day that the Holy Spirit came. And so it was from that time forward that the church became a church. We are still part of that church 2,000 years later. It's very exciting. That's why Pentecost is such an important day. The thing I regret about this episode is it is clearly the birthday of the church, and I didn't even think about getting a cake until I started to shoot this part. I'm sad, but I encourage you all to eat cake. If we were together in the same building, 100% we would be having cake together, but we can't right now. So if you have cake at home, maybe you can have some and celebrate Pentecost with your family. Thank you for joining me on this fantastic Sunday. I hope you learned something fun about the Holy Spirit today, and I hope that you can join me next week. But until then, stay well, be blessed. Bye.